Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of.
Hello, everyone, and welcome
Ooh,
to
all right,
another.
we got an echo.
Hello, everyone.
All right, all good. We'll just okay. Roll it back, coming back
I
in. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Today on the show, we've got Sebastian Scholl back again. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Jason?
Yeah, doing great. So for those of us who aren't familiar with you, do you want to give a little background on who you are and all that good stuff?
Yeah. So my name is Sebastian Scholl. I'm the product manager over at 8base. Got to tune in with you about a month ago when we had a little bit of a mishap on the last Learn with Jason. So we're back at it again. But yeah, I've been at 8base for a little almost a year now. And we're building a really, really epic backend as a service for if you're doing Jamstack applications or really any type of web or mobile app. You can get a really great backend up and running in minutes with a fully featured GraphQL API reflected back off your data model. So we're gonna go over what all that means today, but it's fun.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, so I'm super pumped about this. So last time we ran into some issues. The Auth0 had an outage at like the exact time that we started the stream. So it was like, oh well, this is going well. So we've checked. Auth0 is up. Let's do Auth0 status.
Just to make sure.
Okay, all systems operational. All right, we're good. We're going to be in great shape. Okay, so how about we get started? What's up, chat? How you doing? I see Chris is here, Tony's here. Yeah, Chris G. Chris G, what's up? How you doing? I love. Ooh, that's like a good Yoshi emoji. I'm into that. Oh, the boop emote got approved. So now if you are a subscriber, you can boop a friend.
Booba friend. What is that?
Boop, like like boop your nose.
Got
Um, did my man my I have to refresh my page to get it because it's yeah, there it is. Chris with the boops. Okay, awesome.
it.
So yeah, exciting news. It's a good day. It's a good day to subscribe if you want to boop people. All right, how do we start? What should we do?
Cool. So what we're going to do, so this talk or this is the workshop we're going to do combining REST APIs into GraphQL.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to jump into 8base. We're going to create like a simple data model that we're going to just kind of work with. And then we're going to actually jump into our console and create some custom resolvers that we'll deploy. Then that
Awesome.
will actually be where how do we make the API call to whatever API we're integrating, how do we type the response, and then we'll be able to access it through our own GraphQL API.
Very
And
cool.
then we have some like little things that will work along the way. I have like a demo app that we can use at the end of that to show someone actually logging in and then using those requests in an application. So
Awesome.
if we just want to get started, we can jump on right in.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm gonna hit get started.
Right on. All right,
I
cool.
think I have
Yeah,
GitHub.
I think you said it with GitHub last time.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're
it.
we're all set. Hey, that's you.
Yeah,
All right. So since I have you here, I'm not gonna listen to you talking to me.
right on. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so right now we're just in the console. We're in the homepage of the workspace. But really, kind of when you start an 8base project, I always like to start the data model or go so the data builder. Essentially, what that is that one of the things that is great about 8base is that you're building on top of a MySQL database. So we're on
Mhm.
MySQL on AWS as opposed to NoSQL. So you can really like leverage structured data, build relationships between all these tables and whatnot. Um, and so yeah, we got to undo a little bit of the work. Leave the users table because that one's by
Okay.
default.
So
But
I've deleted everything. We're back to a blank slate here.
cool. Okay. So on that blank slate, what we're going to do is we're going to create our first table, which is
Okay.
going to be called the posts table. So
Add a
essentially
table.
what we're going to do is we're going to say that, hey, when a user signs up, they can create posts, but we're going to create a default post for them in one of our resolvers, which will be fun. So cool, let's call it posts. And then if you see where it says user defined fields, so by default, just to make things simple, we assign a UUID created at, updated at timestamps, as well as created by. so that there's a
Mm-hmm.
system record of whoever actually created something.
Nice.
And that can be different than like the relationship that you're defining. But so in here,
Okay.
let's see, on the posts, what we're going to add is we're going to add a title. So let's call it title. And then we're going to select a data type for that field, which is going to be text. All right, let's go to the top. Yeah, text. And then let's say that it's a mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. You just create that field. So then let's also do another text field called body. Give the post body.
Okay. Is that also text?
Yeah. And if you want, you could up the character limit on that one to like 500 or something like that.
Okay. And that one's not mandatory.
Yeah, you can optionally have that. If you want to set a default value or no duplicates, some validations there and whatnot. But
Cool.
I don't know, what's cool about this is that like, I mean, I've done a lot of work with AWS, and essentially every action we're taking here is running a migration against your own database on AWS or our MySQL database.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it's like doing all the work that's obnoxious to do, but just through an actually nice interface.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
does that mean that like if I needed to, I can export my whole database? Like let's say that I moved to we get acquired by somebody who's got on-prem stuff, and we need to move our data out of 8base. That we can just like pull it all out.
Yeah, we would give you a full MySQL export.
Nice, cool, very cool.
Full dump. Yeah. So right now that feature's not built into the console, but we totally built on standards in that way, right?
Awesome.
So it's super easy. And then one really cool thing, like I just like doing this, for example, hit attach or type an attachment. So let's do another field called attachment.
Okay.
And let's make it a file.
Nice.
And then let's make that file. Let's just say it's an image.
Nice.
So, and we can create that field now. Essentially what we've done is we pre-configured everything to allow you to do image uploads that get stored in S3, with all the security, all the link encryption and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so now even if you wanted to, so go to your data tab. This is actually kind of fun. So go to data tab, click create new posts, or just click the plus button. Cool, so like give it a random.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we use FileStack in the background, but pre-configure, so it's like if you want to search images on the web and upload them to the web or Dropbox, Instagram, whatever, you can just bring in any of those sources, and it's
That's super cool.
Web search is fun. Just type in anything and get your corgi. Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Yeah. So if we give it a title, corgi, and add the row, right on. We made our first post, right?
Awesome.
So what we can do now too, as well, is let's just click back to the schema.
Okay.
And since it's relational, we can create those relationships between tables. So you see the users table that you have already?
Mm-hmm.
Like that one we create by default.
Right.
Just drag and drop it as a field. So like hold it down and like, yeah, there you go.
What?
So like you could have like typed all that out in like table, but now what we can do is we can say, so it's like a user has many posts or, however, and by toggling it, we can create many to many, one to many, one to one, belongs to if it's a mandatory relationship, pretty much all the different types of relationships you want. You can just kind of toggle the definition. So
right.
Cool. Let's say a user has an author. Cool.
Okay.
All right. A post has an author. That belongs to the users table. You got that right. In the related field name, a user has posts. That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
And then multiple posts per user. That's good. Yeah.
And if we wanted like a multi-author setup, we could do that by checking this box. But
yeah.
That seems like it would be a little complex for today.
Well, I mean, it's just like then via the API, you can query anything via that type of relation. It's just up to you to do your own logic to how you connect, reconnect, disconnect records, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and then just create that. I think that's fine. Cool. All right. And so now let's jump over to the users.
Over to users.
Yeah. So we have this post thing, and or if you want, this can just let's do this. So by default, we already have those from last time.
Oh yeah,
right?
I forgot we set these up. Yeah.
Cool. So let's just change the name phone to cell phone because there's just something we'll do later. Or actually, it doesn't matter. So,
Yeah,
but
whatever. Yeah, let's call it mobile.
mobile, just to switch it up.
Yeah, let's go. We're going global.
Going crazy. Um, cool, right? So essentially what we did in here is we created a new table, we built a relationship, and we could go nuts if we wanted to, right? We have a few guys that actually have like 200 something tables in their workspaces,
Oh dang.
all just like completely chock full. But the kind of magic that happens, which is great, is if you go to, you see that the little GraphQL icon in the menu?
Hmm.
It's
Oh,
called
this one.
or yeah, that one. So the API Explorer. So as you are building, changing, deleting your tables, it's constantly reverse engineering your whole GraphQL API, right? So if we can either type things out or we can use the Explorer, which allows us to look at our whole API visually and then just kind of click into what we want.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So let's do
Yeah,
that because that's so much easier.
the guys at OneGraph helped us out with this one.
Yeah,
So
I've Sean Grove is like every time I talk to that guy, I'm like, God, just be less smart. Like leave some for the rest of us, dude.
he gave like the most epic talk that I saw a video recording of. I can't remember what it was, but there were like demoed the whole thing. It was like 45 minutes, but I just remember it's like the whole thing. It was one of the few 45-minute talks I've ever watched, and it was like, oh my god, it's already over. Like
Yeah,
just completely raptured through it, you know.
that's
But
awesome.
but yeah, so essentially, like as we click through here, right, it's just a super easy way of building up your query. Um, and if we wanted to, everything from filtering, pagination, sorting, and even, which we are now the only people that have this, like really have this, it's epic, is grouping and aggregations. So it's like,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Talk me through that.
okay. So we would have to play with some more tables, but let's just do it here. Let's go to the data builder.
Okay.
Let's just add a simple table called purchases.
Okay.
Cool. And let's just add a price or like a price on that, some type of number. Cool. And create the field. All right. And then let's also put any other field that you want.
Okay. Do we need another field? Like, do I need to make a relationship or something?
Yeah, let's just make it a relationship to users.
Okay.
I think that we'll get the demonstration done that way. Cool. And it's a one-to-one. Or actually, no, user has many purchases. Sure.
Okay.
Cool. So create that. Cool. Yeah, let's rename it user. I saw you were going for that. So copy. Cool. All right. So now in data, let's just add some random price. 100. Jason, cool. Let's just do like 3 of them. And yeah, 400, 400. And what's the last one? 150. Awesome. Okay, so now let's go back to the API.
Okay.
Okay, so now delete everything. And so now let's do a query for purchases list. Okay, we're going to add that group by option.
Okay.
Okay, and for under query, let's select price. Okay, so now this is where we kind of broke some, or not broke some rules, but like really stretched the GraphQL spec to make this possible. And we're not, so you see where it says as?
Mm-hmm.
So click as and enter like total price. Or yeah, total price, let's just call it that.
Okay.
And now under function, click function. And so pretty much you have like access to all the different SQL calculations
Okay.
that you could use to run grouping aggregation queries, right? So let's just say that we're going to do an aggregate at the top. and we're going to use some. Cool.
Okay.
All right. And so now in the response, so let's see, click groups,
Groups.
groups, click. So now this is where we actually have to type it into the response. Because essentially what we've done is like we've used a bunch of crazy aliases to allow this to happen and generate schema on the fly. So now if
Oh,
you go into there, create an open object. Cool. Now type in the alias name.
total
Right
price,
on.
right? That's what we called it.
Yep. Now give it a colon. And now type it. So say int. So essentially what we're now saying is that, hey, this alias that we created, we're giving it its type, and now run the query.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and even two, what we could even play with is like, first off, we could do filtering on it to where it's like, okay, well, anything over this amount or find
Right.
absolute, find the highest value in this range. Or what you could also do is that you could use the halvings clause. So let's say that you had like, you wanted to find your top customers, and your top customers defined by people that spent over $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You could make an aggregate field where you group it by every individual's purchases, sum up all their purchases, and then only return customers that have spent over $1,000 based on that new aggregated field. So
Interesting. Okay.
it's super powerful. Like the more I've been playing with it, what's fun is like now we pretty much run all our own analytics that we're like tracking just by writing our own grouping aggregation queries on how many API calls are people doing, how many
Yeah.
we have in this region and all that type of stuff.
Nice.
So it removes it from just like the straight up like kind of CRUD paradigm of show me a list, show me a record, this field on that. So
That's super cool. I feel like the GraphQL police are going to come for you though for this. No, I really like that. I think it's cool. Like what I think is nice about this is that it solves like one of the big challenges with GraphQL is that GraphQL is very dogmatic, and that's a good thing in like 99.9% of cases because you should be thinking hard about what your data looks like and defining that. But like there are also cases where it doesn't make sense to have to like send out 3 pull requests to be able to get the total, and it really doesn't make sense to have your front end engineers writing logic to like add up prices by user or something. So being able to build that in a way that's still controlled, even if it doesn't like anti-pixelated tears, the GraphQL police. Nicely done. No, I think it's good. Like it helps provide the tools without completely ejecting, which I think is is a good thing.
Well, I mean, that was the thing that we kept seeing. We kept seeing people like trying to write a custom resolver to where then they create some crazy, JavaScript math, to bring together all these fields and coerce them and return the value you want.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the front end side, which is just always a nightmare, to where they query the list with all the information and they just try to run all the different operations on it. So just being able to translate that directly to SQL, huge benefit, especially when you're like building more business applications that need some kind of rich reporting to them. We've just have seen this as being like hugely valuable in the stuff that we've been working on.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Well, that was a good little detour.
Right on.
So what should we do next?
Okay, so next what we're gonna jump into and do is, I think we still have, let's just make sure the environment token is still set. So if you go to settings, so essentially one of the APIs that we're gonna be integrating is Giphy, and we just wanna make sure that a Giphy API token is stored in.
Okay, is this gonna?
So that environment variables, and we still got it.
Okay,
so
we've got
that's we're good. Cool. And then what we're gonna do is we are gonna go to roles. So let's click on application services. It's that thing. And roles.
Okay.
All right, let's just create a new role.
Okay.
Call it app user 2. And so essentially the way that we set it up is that So your API can accept a JWT token, and that's your authorization token, right? Anything under the guest role is public, right?
Right.
So let's say that you said anyone can read my posts, and it's public. You put it there, no authentication needed. But we like to kind of make sure things are pat down. So let's go to app user 2. So on this app user 2 role, what we're essentially able to do is go table by table and say, what are people allowed to do, right? What actions they're allowed to take, and even what field level access do they have? So for example, let's say on posts, so click that. Let's just say a user can only have access to their own posts, right? So right there, the API is scoped. So no need to, like, on a controller method or whatnot, check the role and then throw it back. It just automatically is scoping all the records that someone has access to. And in that case, now what can they update and which ones can they delete? Same thing.
Yeah, and so like let's say this is an author, right? And so what I want is an author to be able to create posts and edit posts, but they shouldn't be able to touch other people's stuff, and they shouldn't be able to delete anything. But then I would create like an editor, and then the editor would have the ability to update everybody's posts and delete them.
That's it. And then two, a user could have both an author and an editor role, right? They could have both of them. And then they're just going to get the highest permission, right? So it always will percolate up to the highest level scope.
Cool. And then I can choose, like, they can only update certain fields.
Exactly.
Very
right.
cool.
So here it's like read, update, or none, right? The options. But one thing that's also cool is that, okay, so for example, by default, like we said, users records, right? So that's checking whether or not you are the person that created it, right? Remember that, like, meta field to created by? So if you wanted to, though, so let's go to, just for fun, we can show it. Let's go to posts, read, and let's just say custom filter. Cool. So this is actually how it's scoping that, right? So it says, okay, well, if the created by person's or records ID is equal to the logged in users, then you can see it. But if you changed it created by to author,
now it's only if they own their own post.
Now, yeah, exactly. So now it's that if they were actually specified as the author, which then gives you more flexibility, because then let's say that you wanted to transfer that post to someone else, like, hey, change ownership. You can change ownership on that relationship, but not the system record that would have said this is the original author.
Yeah, so, and that's also cool too, because, like, I'm the metaphor that makes the most sense in my head is the one about like an edited blog. But like, having worked with companies that have editorial workflows, they will create a post for me, and then I go in and edit that post. So this workflow covers that, because I would not have created that post. I would only be set as the author. So I would need, like, this would need to be set for me to have the access that I need to edit it.
Yeah. And another way that's really cool. So let's go back to read again, or let's go to update. That's a better one for update.
Okay.
So custom filter. Cool. And so now so like at the top level of the object, put and or. Let's do or, sorry.
Like here?
Yeah, OR.
Okay.
Cool. Now just copy that object into the array, and you have to wrap it. There we go. So let's just make that so that will be one.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
So essentially, we can specify like multiple matching conditions, right, that might allow someone to update this record. So one, if you're the author, you're good, right? But here, another one you could do is like, okay, well, let's say that our post had a status on them, right? So if the status was in draft mode, right, we could do that. And so let's see, or let's just do it this way. So if you say make a new one inside there. I think.
What have I done?
Yeah, it's just one extra indent below author.
Oh, I'm just confusing the hell out of myself is what's going on. Okay, so we got a new one.
New one. Title. Cool. And let's just say contains draft. So here, if you had, so hypothetically, if you were saving post titles as draft to indicate them as draft, right? Then here it would allow you to update any post title that has the word draft in it.
Got it. Okay.
Right. And then, but for example, if you had a select drop down on whether or not it was like in pending mode or published mode or whatnot, same
Right.
applies, um, and you can really get deep and nested with these things if you want to, even going by different values of it was less than this date or whatever.
And like
So,
so let's assume that we had an enum here and like it was a status of, status could be like draft or published. If I do the status, probably use what equals, and then would it pull that enum in for me, like autocomplete?
yeah,
Awesome. That's very cool.
it's all there. So cool. All right, let's keep cranking. So you can just delete that. Yeah, no need to save that one.
Okay. Let me make
All
sure
right.
that actually did what I thought. Yeah, that's the right thing. Okay.
All right, and so then the last thing we're gonna do is go to authentication. And this is just something that we'll do so when we make our app. So right there, under roles.
Oh, yeah. All right. Looking in the wrong sidebar. Okay.
Awesome. So if you want, you can delete this last one you did. So under authentication profiles, we can either delete it or edit it. Same thing.
We'll just delete it. Let's start. Cool. We'll do a fresh one. So I'm going to create a new one.
Okay. So let's just call it default auth. And so essentially what we did is we wrapped off 0, so it's just stupid easy to set up in your applications, right? Okay. But if you wanted to, you could bring your own Auth0 account, or you could use any OpenID provider, right? So if you wanted to use Okta or Cognito, you're good to go too. But cool. Using ours, super straightforward. We could say we want to allow self signups or open to all, whitelisted by email domains on who can sign up, whatever it needs to be. So you can just say open to all if you want.
Okay.
So anyone could sign up. And then here, what we're saying is that, hey, when someone does sign up via this authentication, what roles do they get just by default, right? So here we can say app user 2, right on, and add that profile.
Okay.
And so it gives you a few credentials that we'll come back to and grab later. They're not sensitive, so you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, they're public credentials. But then essentially this is what will map everything back to when you do the authentication, you go through the redirects. Where are you able to go? And if you scroll down, if you wanted to do GitHub sign-in, Google, Facebook, you just go get your apps, your client secret and client IDs from them, plug them in there. Everything's ready to rock. And this is where you just then whitelist your callback URLs.
Got it.
So if anyone wants to talk more about auth, we always can, right? But yeah, it's kind of all there, really simple and turnkey for you to get going.
Nice.
Cool. Okay. Are you ready to try the command line again?
All right, let's do this. Let's see. Man, no, this one.
So, my turn. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a few installs to get going. But essentially, so people can understand where we're going with this right now is we were just playing in this like web dashboard, right, where everything's kind of taken care of for you. But that GraphQL API, while it auto generates a ton of stuff for you automatically, all credit operations, WebSocket connections, all that stuff, there's a good chance that if you're building anything, you're going to want a lot of custom operations, right? And so essentially what we've done is we've created a simple framework for deploying Lambda functions that can either extend your GraphQL API, run on a schedule, run on a database event, or be an HTTP webhook. So like, for example, if you get a transaction Stripe can then send a post request to this server and you receive that in your Lambda function, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new custom project that then we deploy to that workspace. Okay. And that's how we're gonna actually do this exercise of integrating the Giphy API with then a fake user data API that I found.
Okay.
And one other function that will run on a database event.
Awesome.
So let's start by installing 8base CLI globally. So 8base-CLI.
That.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay. So far, so good.
Promising.
Um,
Cool. Yeah. So this is going to give us just, yeah, this is going to give us the command line tool. So we got some really easy generators in there and whatnot, easy deployment. I really believe it's the fastest way you can deploy a Lambda function ever. That actually, it just works. So.
okay. So now we have 8 base. Good.
All right, we got that. Cool. So now let's run 8-base login. It's the moment of truth.
Oh, look how fast that happened.
Hell
Jesus.
yeah.
That was wonderful.
Holy buckets, did that just work?
It did just work. All right, chat, we're in business.
All right, cool. Finally. Okay, cool. So essentially, I just authenticated the CLI so that now when we run requests to our, against our workspace or whatnot, it has a session and knows who we are.
Nice.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to initialize a new project. So do 8-base init.
Okay.
And just call it like JSON app or something.
Can I just put it in the current folder? Like, will that work?
Yeah, it will go in the current folder. So if you don't need to give a relative path.
Okay.
Yeah. JSON app, and then So actually cancel out of this because there's one flag I want you to run so we don't get a bunch of boilerplate.
Code.
Okay.
Do the same thing but with -e.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Now select your workspace.
Just the default one, right?
Yeah. So if you have multiple workspaces, it's going to show you which one because it needs to know which workspace to actually send this code to. Okay, cool. So we left it empty. It would have showed you like an example of every function.
Okay.
But as you can see, very bare bones little project that we have here right now with a few dependencies. And so let's just move into that directory and run yarn.
Okay.
Cool. And one thing actually that happened to me the other day that I don't know, just yarn add GraphQL. I think I got like a weird thing from the GraphQL request library that cool. All right, that's all. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually start generating these functions that we're going to work with to do the integrations.
Okay.
So first off, let's run 8-base space G.
For
we're going to make a
generate.
resolver function, so resolver.
Okay.
And then let's name it Giphy search.
Do I?
Search. Or no dash. So
No
we'll leave it, yeah. Because this is gonna be on our GraphQL API. Cool. So just press enter.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so let's explore those files that it just did for us. So first off, to our config, it added that we have a new function called Giphy search. It's a resolver. Here's where the code is, and it has a schema, right? So if we go in there and we look at the schema, or yeah, either one. So the schema, here we can see that, okay, well, we're extending our type query. We're giving that function a name. We're typing the arguments that it accepts, and then we're going to type the result or the result that it's able to return. Right? Because remember, like GraphQL, I think it's like it has rules of what goes in, rules of what comes out, but then you can write any function in the middle that makes all that magic happen.
Got it. Yeah.
So this is where we're going to set that part up.
Okay.
Then if we go to the handler, so this is actually our Lambda function, or our function that's going to resolve the request or handle the request, right? So we can delete the resolver result here because since it's typed on the schema side, we can just delete that and then put in the promise type any. It saves us from having to do that twice. So delete the delete the type.
Delete this type.
Or just delete where it says resolver result, just type any.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. And then you can delete the unused type that's above the function.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay. So now we are going to start writing this function. So let's play with the good way of starting this, actually, let's go to Giphy and let's hit the endpoint that we're gonna actually have to type. So everyone,
yeah, here we go. Developers, API endpoints. What were we gonna do with search endpoint?
Yeah, search. So GIF search.
Okay.
Awesome. So let's try to ping that. I think that you can do it in here somewhere.
I think I might need to, let me get logged in.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Okay. Thanks for showing off all my API keys.
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, where?
So it gave us, is there like a try this?
Docs.
API Explorer.
Cool.
So we are going to do a search.
Point search.
Okay.
Yeah, just give it any query string, doesn't really matter. Query, right on.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So essentially, in data, each one of these, right, is like one response for one image, right? So they give us all these different types back. Essentially, now it's our job to type this out, right? Okay. So we can start. So the best way to start would be to go to the schema.graphql file.
Okay. We can just like only pick the pieces we want, right?
Say again?
We can pick just the pieces we want, right? We don't need to do the whole object.
Yeah, we could do just the pieces we want.
Okay. So in here, our result is going to be probably its own little object. So we can set that up as what, like?
So here, so I have it to where let's start at the, so it says extend type query, then we called it Giphy search, and then let's start by giving it the arguments that we're gonna be able to pass, right?
Okay. So we want to start with a query, limit offset, and we'll just probably.
Yeah. So query, limit, it's an int, cool, offset.
Should I keep that? I think that should be, should these be required or not?
No. Query is the only required one.
Okay. All right.
Or so clear offset, and then we also have lang and rating.
I'll probably just leave the lang. We can just hard code those since we're not like I don't want anyone searching anything but G-rated images on this particular demo. So I think we can probably hard code those. The lang though we can include.
Cool. All right. You have any commas in there?
You don't have to. It like.
Oh yeah, I forget that sometimes. Okay, cool. Okay, so then it's going to return Giphy search result, right? Which is just to make sure that this function is is as easy as possible. What we're going to do is we're going to say that there's a count in there.
Okay.
Count, which is an int, then pagination, or actually screw pagination, let's just say results.
Okay.
And so then results is an array. And inside there, let's just call it like a Giphy result. And then we're gonna have to create that new type.
Okay.
So search result. Okay, so inside a Giphy result.
Seems like we would want.
Yeah, we pretty much have all those fields. So.
Seems to me like we would want the ID. We'd want the URL. We would want images, but honestly, we could probably just get just the one that we want to use. Maybe. What size should we get? Are we going to show all these at once?
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, we could just.
Uh-oh. We have a frozen Sebastian. Is it a frozen me? Everybody still? No? Okay.
We good?
Oh, you're back. Okay. We lost you right as we were about
What
to
are you
start talking
doing,
about
computer? Why? Why are you like this?
Okay, so what image should we bring?
Okay, so let's bring in here. Let me see my notes. Let's bring in the MP3. I think there's an MP3 in there.
Like original MP4 here?
Yeah, I think just the top level results should be fine.
Oh, does
They
it?
have-
Do we get
they
a
have
top level
the
result?
URL. Say again?
Do we get a top? I don't think we get a top level result, do we?
Well, that right that you're seeing right there, like ID, URL, type, slug, title.
Yeah.
I think that if you use URL, won't that work for an embed or
Oh.
source?
I think it pulls up. That's like the whole page. I think we need like um an actual.
So then what about source?
I think that's the credit.
Yep.
I think source post URL, bit.ly embed. We might be able to get away with this one. The embed would work.
So let's do embed.
Okay. All right, and then we can ignore the rest. We'll just use these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So what I would just do is let me think. Yeah, just copy these types and let's paste them over to our handler. So just as we're forming that, we can just look at what we need to return.
Okay.
And you can just comment them out, so they're not necessary. Okay, cool. So then what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna actually start writing the handler function.
Okay.
So
I need something to get this, right? Like Axios or Fetch or something.
exactly. I was going to say, let's just add Axios as like an HTTP client.
Okay. So we can const result equals await Axios. Are you going to autocomplete for me? No, you're not. So we will Axios.
Cool. Got Axios. Sweet.
Okay. And so then I'm going to. Was it a post or a get?
Did you install it?
Yes.
Did it require it?
Yeah, it's here. And it's required up at the top. I guess I can move this down under the comments so that it's not so.
Okay, cool. So the first thing that we're going to want to do.
Hold on one second. I was thinking we were in node land.
Yeah, there we go. Cool.
Okay.
So then, okay, so we have those arguments that are getting passed to our function, right? So when you run the GraphQL operation and you give it the arguments, and so we want to pull those out to be able to use those. So if we go to the, you see how there's the event argument?
Yes.
Cool. So we can unpack from the event argument data, which has all those fields that we passed it essentially.
Well, when are we passing this in?
Yeah, so I would actually just leave it called event. I mean, it's up to you. It could work either way. But essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to say on the next line, either let's just say const, and now unpack and do an object, and say, yeah, there you go, event, cool. So now on there is where we have our query, where we have limit, lang, all those different arguments that we pass our GraphQL operation, right? So we have them to work with.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I understand what's happening. I was like, we haven't run the query yet. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Right on. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So now what we need to do, I think, so now with Axios, we have to give it a post or not a post request, excuse me, a GET request.
Okay. So this is going to be a GET request, which means I think I can just drop it in like so, and then we can start here. Nope. We can start here. And then this is going to get replaced with.
So process
Like
dot
so?
e. Cool. That's it.
Okay.
So
Um,
and that's because we threw in our environment variables earlier. All right.
so
So search
then,
API key. Okay. So now let's just go farther down the line on that object, on that string, and actually start adding in our query parameters.
mhm. So these, let's assume that I'm going to destructure. So we'll do limit
Yeah.
offset, and we'll leave the rating, and then we'll do the lang. Okay,
Cool.
so then up here, I need to get query limit offset lang, and
Yeah.
we will default these. Oops. And this was what, 25 is the default. And those are going to come out of, is it data
If you
variables?
just do event.data, because we don't really need the event object. So cool. And then we
Okay.
can just knock that guy out.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool. So if we want, I mean, we don't need to throw it into a try error block. That should just work, right? Okay, so then what we need to do is we now need to actually take our, we need to take this response and format it into our expected result.
Okay. So that means that we need, or let's see.
So usually when I do this, I make like a little function called like,
Oh, so
result,
we would need to add code. Is that right?
result formatter, and then just iterate over the response or map over the response and get back only the fields I'm looking for.
Got it. Okay. So we'll do,
Cool.
I'll call it item or something. And then we're going to return back what we need. And what we need, and well, so it seems that there's going to be two pieces here. So the first thing is going to be, we're going to get the count. And so that's going to be result dot data because it's Axios dot length, right? And then we're going to have, we called it results.
Yeah.
And results is going to contain this result. So we need to do result dot data dot map
formatter.
Okay, so that'll give us our item.
Yep.
Our item will come in, and we can just return, or what's up here, ID URL embed. And with those, we should be able to just do item.id, item.url, and item.embed. And I could have made that simpler if I wanted to, but we'll leave it at this, I think. So in theory, we've got in theory, this will do what we want, assuming I didn't typo anything.
I love theory. All right. So what we can do is we can actually run it locally just to see, we can invoke the function locally without having to
if this
deploy
just
it.
worked.
It doesn't like my process, and do I need to do something to make that work?
You know what? Add node types.
Add node types?
Yeah, so do yarn add @ types / node.
Oh, other way around. Type / node.
Yeah. I think that'll fix the linting error.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
Right on. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to paste in your Giphy key. So like you know how like you can set an environment variable on the command.
Gotcha.
Yeah, give it the name equals.
Oh wait,
that.
I can do something else fun here. Because I just got a new thing from John Papa, which is this environment variable masker.
Okay.
So I mean we've already this ship has sailed, but we I can get this key and then drop it in here, and
Nice. I don't
then
see
it's
it.
yeah, so it's like invisible.
You hackers,
which is pretty
you
wonderful.
dirty hackers.
And then I can yarn add .env. And then in here, I can, oh shit. Wait, no, it should work. Import .env from .env. And then I can just do .env.config. And in theory, this will work. If this doesn't work on the first try, we'll just put it in the
All right, cool.
But,
so one thing we're gonna do too is that, so you see how inside the directory it has this thing called mocks?
Mocks. Yes.
Okay, drop into mocks.
No, this will work. This will work.
Yes.
So let's delete body, and
just
then
like
just leave it. Or you can delete the key. The key is not needed.
okay.
But essentially, what we're able to do in here is in data, we can give it all the data we actually need to send to our function. So it's like you could create multiple different like the query parameter, right? So like we want to give it the query search.
Oh, I got it.
Exactly. Because essentially, like, the way we look at it is like you could potentially want to test out like as many different requests as you'd want to to test your function. Mm-hmm. So you can give it different types of mocks. So corgi, perfect. All right. So then console, let's do 8 base, invoke -local, Giphy search, so the name, and then let's just give it -m space request. So that's the name of the mock file that we're using.
Okay. I think I might have to move into the folder before this works.
All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I needed to move into the app.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, didn't like something.
All right, what do we get?
Cannot read property config of undefined. Okay,
oh,
did
we install .env inside the project?
I did. I didn't. Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah, we were outside.
Try that again.
All right, let's try again.
Okay, one more try. You know what? I don't even care. Let's just do this. Oh, don't come on. And then or wait, how do I want to do this? Let's go up.
Cool.
Still can't read config. Oh, I need to actually delete the thing.
Get rid of that.
I think you have to like, because it's a common JS, we'd have to like pull out .default or something. There's a way to do it. I've figured it out before, but that's not what we're here for.
Do we get it?
We got it.
Work.
We're missing the embed though, which means that I got the key wrong. It's embed URL.
There we go.
Embed URL. Okay, one more try. Beautiful.
Oh yeah. All right, cool. So, okay, so cool. So we have Giphy now. And what we are going to do also is we're going to add one more, where we're going to add another resolver called random user enrich. So let's do 8-base G random user enrich. Cool. Or we have to give a I shouldn't do that, but we have to give it a resolver type. So 8-base G resolver.
Oh, got it.
Cool. Awesome. Jump there. Essentially, what we have here is it's just another random. It's another API that generates random fake user data.
Okay.
Just we're saying is like we're going to enrich the user data when someone signs up. And so if we go to our this is called randomuser.me. Have you ever seen that API?
Feel like I have.
Jeremy Thompson. Marshall Porter. There they
Oh,
are.
weird. Okay.
My heroes. Cool. All right. So essentially what we can do is we can hit their randomuser.me/API with a nationality, and it's going to give us back all the user data that we want.
Okay.
All right. So if we want to, we can go, yeah, let's just ping it really quickly. Essentially, this is where we're going to get like the phone number, the birthday, those fields that we were playing with.
How do I random API? That seems like a lot.
Yeah. So if we go back to our function.
Where's the I must be missing the part where I see what the API is.
Yeah. So if you available functions.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Random.
So I think this is the
Where am I? Random user. Documentation.
Version formats, how to use. There you go.
Got it. Okay. Gee, I made that so hard for myself. Okay. Let's go in here and then we're gonna get Axios. Or no, we need to define our random user. And so this is what the custom fields we put on the user table, the user table.
Exactly. So we're just gonna fill it in with this.
Okay. So in here, under users, we created mobile, birthday, gender, and do we need any others like email?
Not really. I mean, if we wanted, we could just give them fake first name, fake last name too. Why not? Oh, we already have those fields in there.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
just use those.
So we want a.
So let's pass it the argument of nationality. Nationality. I think that's like one of the ones, just so we can, do it that way. All right, cool. Just a string. Awesome.
And then this is going to bring us back mobile, gender, birthday. Does his birthday come back as a
date time?
Date time. Is there a date time field? Or do we just do it as a string?
Yeah, daytime.
Daytime. Okay. And then what was the other thing we needed?
I think it was just those three.
Oh, we were gonna do a first and last name.
Yeah.
Okay. First name. Yeah, chat. My Slack is definitely on. I don't know what I did, but somehow Slack escaped my notification preferences. So like when I go into do not disturb mode or when I change my speakers or anything, Slack ignores all of those settings. Like it plays through whatever speakers it wants. It won't not beep or whatever, knock, whatever that stupid Slack sound is. And I can't figure it out. I keep looking and it's, yeah. Let me see if I can just actually go. Can I mute you? Go away. Yeah, okay. It'll stop. It should stop making noise now. Sorry for everyone who's been like checking your own Slack. I saw a couple people in the chat saying like, "Oh, I just checked my Slack." Nope, it's me. Sorry.
Cool.
I think this is it, right?
Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, cool. So if we want, we can just copy that again, bring it over to the handler so we know exactly what we're trying to return.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
I'm only halfway through my first coffee for the day. I think it's starting to show.
Cool. So I should probably update these templates so that they don't to have the result again. So yeah, let's do the same thing where we make the return type any and get rid of that resolve result. Awesome. Okay, cool. So now what we're gonna do in here is that pretty much the exact same thing. We're gonna import Axios again we're going to get the nationality from the argument.
Let's just grab all of this again. And we'll just edit it so that we don't spend a bunch of time in here. None of these are, okay. So then we were going to hit this endpoint.
Yep.
And now, how did we pass the nationality?
It's just a NAT, N-A-T. Yeah. That's the one.
So we'll get the nationality out of
Oh, yeah,
here.
let's put them there.
And should we default this to something?
GB.
Okay.
Great Britain. Okay, cool.
And that means
Yeah,
that
so
I can make
that's
this
simple.
optional. Okay. And then we need to change this out to have first name, last name, mobile, and then it was gender, birthday. Okay. And that is going to come out of, let's see, we get results, and it's just going to give me the one, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we can just get the first one from the result.
Yeah.
Then we kind of just have to piece it out because it kind of has that weird nested, like name is an object and whatnot.
Name dot first, name dot last,
mobile, phone down there, cell,
item dot cell,
gender. What was the last one?
Date of birth. So DOB dot date.
Date. Cool. Awesome. All right. So now we just have to pass this result. Yeah. So we can get rid of that.
Really, we're just doing return formatter of result dot data dot
exactly
results 0. Little slapdash on that one, but you know.
Yeah. So the only thing that we got to do is when on the return object, we have to specify the data key to make sure that he gets. Yeah. So exactly like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll catch this in code review. Like that's not going to go to production.
Yeah.
So now I can just test this, and it was. Let me see if I remember. 8-base invoke. Random user enrich.
So
invoke local.
Yeah, invoke would actually invoke it in the production.
Got it.
And the one thing we got to do is we got to give it or actually, no, we don't have to give it a mock because
it's all. Yeah.
Cool. All right, and so yeah.
I got something wrong. Cannot read property data of null.
Try this. Let's give it a mock because I think that it was looking for the data property and didn't get anything. So let's go into mocks.
Okay.
Or just yeah. So go into mocks, or that's Giphy search. Let's go to the other one.
Oh. All right. Close that one. Open this
Random
one.
user enrich. Cool. Nationality.
Right.
Cool. All right. And so let's save that. And then when we rerun the request, let's actually give it the -m request.
And request.
Yeah. That could be named anything. It just matches the file type. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Cindy Freeman, female, born 57. Awesome. All right, cool. So this next part is actually really simple. Run 8-base deploy.
Like that. That's all?
That's it. Cool. So this takes longer than I ever wanted to, but it takes about a minute. Essentially, what's cool is that it's gonna get all the dependencies. It's gonna deploy those. If it's TypeScript, it's gonna compile it. If it's JavaScript, because you can write these functions in TypeScript or JavaScript. And but dude, you can't do the waiting thing like I said. You gotta actually wait. But yeah, so it's gonna go through and actually deploy these to our API. So if we want, we can jump back in the console and play with them for a minute. And then how are we doing on time too?
We are doing okay on time. We got like about 20-ish minutes.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're good then.
Okay. So while we're doing this, what am I?
API Explorer?
Say again?
API Explorer?
API Explorer. This one.
Yeah. Cool, so you can delete that. Yeah, let's see if they finished uploading. Once you're ready. Yep, cool.
Done.
Okay, so yeah, just refresh it. And let's try to do a Giphy search. Cool, query, Corgi. Yeah, I think we gotta get rid of the default one. So just, yeah, there we go, cool.
Let's see.
Embed. Did we call it embed URL?
No, that was just the. Do I need to? All of these are optional. Is there logging that I can look at or something?
Quick thing, did we do the same? See if random user enrich works. Because I'm wondering if we did the if we messed up on what's it called? Yeah, you can run two at the same time. Cool. Yeah, what we got to do is we had to add it to the data property. I think that on when it came to Giphy search, we forgot to do that.
Ah.
That was it.
So why did it work locally?
Because locally it's being interpreted differently.
Okay. And so now if I invoke, let's hear.
Yeah, let's try it again.
Still works. Okay. So then we'll deploy.
Now it's fast. It should be 3, 2,
Deploying.
1.
It's happening. Oh.
Almost.
Pretty close.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's try that again.
So yeah.
And now we've got corgis.
Cool.
And we're just going to look at one because that's our reward for getting this right. So I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody told me that corgi butts are called momos because that's the Japanese word for peach.
You gotta be kidding me. And we thought we were just learning code today.
I am a wealth of corgi knowledge. Okay, so I mean, we've got this working, and this is what's really cool about this too, is that like I can run this alongside like a post query. Let's do this one, I guess. Get the items, and we'll get like the title. And so now I've got my custom data and API data all coming back in the same query, which is like that's pretty cool. That's really powerful stuff.
No, exactly. Yeah, and and you can select the fields you need for the different requests. One thing that's cool too is that if you scroll down on the API Explorer to System, you're gonna see an option called System. Yeah, so it's like inside System, it's like its own package.
Okay.
Essentially, something that we have like a very beta version of right now, but we're gonna have a better version of very soon because we're working on it. Is like for example, you'd be able to integrate the entire Giphy API under Giphy as a plugin. So you'd just be able to share like your Giphy plugin and then all the operations would be nested under that. So instead of having like Giphy search top level, you could have Giphy as a plugin and then search under that and organize all your code that way, which
That's
going to be
cool.
super nice. Yeah. But here, let's keep playing until we get cut off. So
Do we have so this random user enrich, we were going to drop this into our users table, right?
yeah, so that's what we're gonna do next. So check this out. So let's go back and let's make a new function.
Code, got it, function.
Cool. And so let's call this one, so it's 8-base G, and this is gonna be a trigger function. So trigger, and then let's call it enrich and welcome. And
that's what I want everyone to do when it's like walk into a room and I get enriched and welcomed.
Welcome. Like, it's a good life. So then cool.
Okay, so
now let's actually go to our 8-base YAML file. So that top level one.
YAML.
And so the enrich and welcome needs a few configurations. So first off, we're going to say it's trigger after.
Trigger after.
Cool. And by default, it's set it to user create. So essentially, this is saying that, hey, run this function after the user's created.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So now let's go back to that. Let's go to the handler. And so this just is a handler, so it doesn't need any schema or anything like that. It's just a normal function.
Okay.
So what are we going to do now? We are going to, after a user signs up, we're going to query the random user API.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to use that data to update the user's profile. And then we're going to create, and in doing so, we're also going to make them a welcome post, right? That belongs to them.
Okay.
So to get started on that, let's, let me think, what should we do? We should start by writing the
who's going to open a pull request to put the animated bearded corgi in that? Okay, so yeah, that's all right. Little corgi parade.
right on.
Here we go. So I've completely lost my train of thought. The first thing that we were going to do was what now?
Let's write the mutation in the Explorer that we're going to need to use to update the user's information. Essentially, what we just want to do is we want to write out our two GraphQL queries, or
yes.
Our mutation and our query.
Okay. So for this one, I've got it. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that one we can actually just kind of drop in. So I think we have, so like that. Cool.
And then for the mutation.
And now for the mutation, cool, like that. So this one, what we're gonna want to do is, let's just write this.
So I want to user update, and I want to set
their first name,
last name, gender, mobile, birthday. Right?
Yep, and their ID. So the ID is how we're gonna identify which user it is.
Okay.
Cool.
And then I guess what we get back is just an ID, just to make sure that it went through.
And then also what we're gonna do is, so do you see posts? So inside the user data, posts, create, and say, welcome to the app, something like that.
Okay.
Well, cool. And give it a body. We're so excited to have you here, whatever you want to say. Okay, cool. So essentially what's cool about this is that in this single mutation, it will create a post as well as relate it to as the author for this user, right? So it's like a nested relationship operation. Cool.
Okay, so this one we're gonna need to set variables for, right?
Yeah. And there's two ways of doing it. So like the first way, cool, yeah, that is the way.
Did you want to do it as like an input or something?
No, I was gonna say instead of doing an input, let's do this. So cool.
I mean, I think that it's a good idea to do the input model like in production because it makes it a little easier to keep the API surface
Oh, for sure.
flexible. But
Mobile spring birthday is date time.
and then the title is going to be hard coded, so good. And then
And the ID.
First name. Oh, that's right, the ID.
And there's actually, and then we have a type for ID, so you can just throw that in there like that. Cool.
Okay, and so let's see. Last name, gender, mobile, birthday, ID. Okay. It's just
Cool.
a big, messy.
All right. Yeah, let's just break that down.
Cool. We'll leave it at that. That seems okay. We don't need the type name.
Yeah.
All right.
Buy it. Awesome. Okay, cool. So now inside of our actual function. So once again, trigger result, just change it to any so we don't have to type out what we're doing there.
Okay.
Cool. And what we're going to do now is we are going to get the ID. So the context object, right? Event data. Event data is actually the user data now. So since it's going after the user create, it's passing the context.
Right. Okay.
So we can just pull the ID right out of it, event.data. Awesome. And then what we can do is make a new variable, let, so not a constant, call it errors. And this is going to be an array that we can push our errors into.
Got it.
Yeah, but there's with TypeScript, what we got to do is after errors, just put colon. So like right after, yeah, and then error capital, and an array after that.
Okay.
Cool. That's it. Awesome. All right, and then our nationality, we'll just leave it by default. Okay, so cool. So let's actually use our user enrich thing. So on the context argument, we have the API. So do context.api. It's just built on GraphQL request. So GQL request.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now that's a function. And the first argument is going to be our query.
Okay. And we don't have no variables there.
Yeah, we don't need to pass it nationality. Awesome. Okay, cool. And so let's just await that response. And we can unpack that directly if we want to.
So we're going to get back data and then first name, last name. Or wait, that's not how that's going to work, is it? It's going to be data.random user enrich.
Yeah.
Random user enrich.
So since we're not dealing with Axios now, I think that we can actually just go, or we can just go straight to that random user enrich. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. And then we needed the mobile, birthday, gender. I get that right? Okay. Yeah.
Yep. That looks good. I love unpacking.
Yeah, the destructuring syntax I think is the most, it does so much for my mental health.
Seriously.
Not having to do like 15 variable declarations to steadily dig deeper.
Exactly. No, seriously, it's like one of my favorite syntax things.
Before we go on, question in the chat. Nikki asked, does Prettier have a thing to format tag template literals? It does, but I didn't tag this. So if I tag this as like GQL, it would pick it up. It doesn't because I have I don't have
Well,
it
we
imported,
used
but
to.
like
Yeah.
basically VS Code can do tag template literals, but we're not using tag template literals.
Cool. All right, cool. So if we wanted to, if there was an error, we could push the error. No, screw it. We don't need to do that. Okay, so the one thing that we are going to do now is, so data, event data, and then, so did you put that first name thing in there?
Which no, this came in from your generator.
Oh my God, that's so weird. Okay, let's get rid of that.
Get out of here.
Beat it. Okay, cool. And so then after that, is there an errors declaration inside the return object on the outside of it?
Here?
Yeah, it's right there. So yeah, just delete that.
Like, should
Or
we
just
just
array
let it
value.
be our object?
Yeah. So essentially the way this works is that you have to return you have to return the same data, or the same object as you originally got.
Mm-hmm.
But you just pass in any errors to that array if something goes wrong. So
Okay.
cool. So now what we need to do is we need to run our mutation. So we can do that the same way that we ran our query. So just context API GQL request.
And then is it like this?
Yeah.
And then
You don't need to say variables.
oh, you just put them straight in.
Yeah,
Okay.
this takes the
First name, last.
What actually I think we could do, those are all the fields from our enrich, right?
Yeah. You can just spread it, right?
Yeah, I think we can just spread enrich right into.
Or we don't even need to spread it, do we? We can just
Exactly.
like put it in here.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if that works. Cool.
That feels cleaner.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I need to. Am I awaiting this?
Yeah, just await it, but I don't really think we need to return anything.
Okay.
So just wait. I think that's it. We should be pretty good with just that.
So then in
So
that case, we can just return this instead of spreading it. Okay.
yes.
Should we give this a shot?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
So yeah, so let's deploy it.
Okay. And now how do we create users? Do I need to stand up I don't think we've got time to do a front end.
No, so what we can just do is we'll just jump into the back end.
Okay. All right.
Cool. All right, so now go to data.
Users.
Users, data.
Just create a new one.
Yeah, just give it an email address. And it could be a fake email address, doesn't matter.
This is not a real email address, but it should be. Active.
Yeah.
Just let the rest of it go, right?
Yeah, just let it go. Cool. Okay.
Looks like it didn't do the thing.
Let's see.
Refresh it, maybe.
Yeah, let's see if that did it. Nope. Okay, so let's go to, you see like right above the API Explorer has a little icon called logic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's click on that. Let's go to, we're in virtual welcome. Let's go to logs. Okay.
Syntax error. I broke it. What did I break? Syntax, what was it, line 2? That's certainly not right.
You know what
Get rid of that.
that's weird. Okay, so let's get rid of that. You know what, let's also just add GraphQL tag, because I'm wondering if maybe there's a parsing issue on the, yeah, so, or import. Either.
That's right. Import GQL from GraphQL tag.
Yeah, and then we also just have to add that with Yarn.
Okay.
Tag, cool. All right, so now let's go down.
Now this should, just to tackle that that question from the chat, this should auto format. Yeah, there it goes. So once you put the GQL tag, it'll do that for you.
And then you know what? We can test it. We can test it locally.
Oh shit! You know what we didn't do? We didn't add the ID in here.
Oh.
Okay, so now we've got the ID. We get the user data.
Spread has to come last, right?
No, this will just make sure that we override. If this came back with an ID, this would be the last thing.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. Okay.
So let's actually steal that ID from the data viewer.
Steal that ID.
We can test this thing locally.
Oh, I was like, yeah. I don't know what you're. Okay. All right. Here's yeah, we'll get this ID.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to.
So let's just add the mock.
Oh, just add them. Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. ID, cool.
And is that gonna, like, do I have to? No, that should be it, right?
Yeah, because that's the only thing that we're gonna be pulling out of there. We're essentially like stubbing the data object.
No, invoke local.
Cool.
Rich and welcome.
And then M
request.
Cool.
No.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Expected $, found name, gender, which means somewhere in here.
Got it. So we had some type of.
Oh, yeah, I just typoed is what happened.
Yeah, that was our last error too.
Okay, found name mobile. Did it again. Let's check the rest of these. Birthday. At some point I forgot what I was doing, I think. That's why it wasn't auto formatting for me, because it was invalid. Gee, I was like, oh, it's weird that it's not doing that. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so it did it now. And cool. If we reload this, then I should have data.
Right
Megan
on.
Gray.
So
all right.
Let's add another user now.
All right, one more user, and we'll go with com.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't deploy.
Oh. So funny how like you get those like cascading mistakes sometimes when you're like trying to fix something. It's just like you just like bumble through like, oh, forgot this, forgot that, fixed it, go back, forget to deploy, all those little ones.
I know. It's like my whole life is just forgetting the obvious step and then spending a lot of time debugging the complicated part that wasn't broken.
Exactly. I know the feeling.
Recompiling dependencies. That's because we added the GQL tag, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, we're gonna get this running, and then I think we're gonna start breaking down. So, chat, if you've got any questions, now's the time to get those in. Otherwise, let's give this a shot, and then we'll take a look at. Let's see, someone at example.org. And does it matter that I'm checking the, hey, there we go.
There we go.
So we're getting fake data. So yeah, this is really cool that this works. And it's very like, I feel, it's like any system, we've got moving parts. So it's kind of getting a feel for, all right, so this thing lives over here and this thing lives over here and they need to have this shape. But it's really powerful to see that without having to learn how to do complex joins like that, we just, I created a user and now that user has extra data. And so you could see like how this would be really useful if you were, like, let's say you were collecting like email addresses and you were one of those companies that has like $1 bajillion. So you signed up for Clearbit. where like Clearbit will aggregate social data and all this stuff, which is really, really cool. And well, cool and like creepy, terrifying, but like, it's powerful, right? If you're like plugging this into your Salesforce instance, being able to just do all of that as soon as you enter someone into your database is like, that's really, really powerful automation that it just cuts down steps. It cuts down mental overhead. And, I really like that. So yeah, this is a powerful tool. So, if people want to get started there's a free tier, right?
Yeah. So we have a free tier that really lets you pretty much configure anything you want on the back end. There's just like there's a few features that aren't there on the free tier. But then, on the free tier, if you're starting to build a client application,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like, let's say that you like spin up your React app or your Vue app, it throttles the API then. So that's just kind of the way that we don't fall into the free forever category.
Sure.
We have our own goals there. But like it really, 8base starts at $8 a month for developers, right? And so for that, you're going to get way more usage than you possibly need. Or not that you possibly need, but you're going to be able to go a long way on $8 a month.
Yeah.
Really, one of the ways I like to explain it to developers is that like we are like Firebase is to Google, but to AWS, right? So you think of Firebase as like this like layer on top of GCP that brings together all these really important resources. If you like Firebase, keep using it, right? But if you want to be on an AWS stack, that's essentially where we're coming in, and we manage all those resources for you, so you don't have to become an expert in how to set up your VPC, how to do your user groups and your IAM roles and all that different types of stuff. That especially too when you're just working on something kind of fun and quick.
Yeah.
Like that's not what you want to be focusing on. At least it's not for me. Like you want your back end up, you want it fast, and then you want to build whatever awesome front end app usually that is the project in mind. So,
yeah. Cool. Very cool. All right. So I think that is us kind of at a good stopping point. So where should people find you online?
Yeah. So if you guys want to, I am on Twitter. I really like Medium, so if you find me on Twitter at Seb Scholl, that's a good place to start. Usually anything that I am posting from other things, whether it's Dev2, whether it's Medium, I do post them on my Twitter, so you'll find them there.
Nice.
But also, too, if you sign up for 8base or just want to reach out and talk more, shoot me an email, sebastian.scholl@8base.com. So first name with a period, or my name with a period in the middle. And there we go. Perfect. Happy to chat with any of you guys about stuff you're working on, if 8base is a fit or if 8base is not a fit. Just want to chat about it. I like this stuff. That's why I do it. So
yeah, very cool. All right, there's one question in the chat. Is there an example of a full app with user auth and everything that they can look at?
Yeah, so we were it's too bad we didn't get the time to do it. We have two example apps that you can, or starter apps, frankly, that you can use to either get going on a React.js project or a Vue.js project. I'm going to drop the GitHub repo right into our chat right now. Cool. Whoop. It's making me sign in. 1 second. See, I'll sign up with Facebook.
Is it like github.com/8base?
Say again?
Is it like /8base? Is the GitHub username? And then I see tutorials, React 8base starter app, Vue 8base starter app.
Cool. Exactly. Yeah. So those two starter apps right there. The way I built them was so that there's an .env file, and you only have to add 4 environment variables, and auth will work out the gate. Awesome. But then there's a README on each of those that show you where are the relevant files. So it essentially, that is the simplest way to just add some variables and have an app that works with API authentication or with authentication, so you can authenticate and sign up users, as well as start querying the API because it already is passing the ID token as the header that needs to be there.
Cool.
Yeah. So someone said that link doesn't work. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, it's missing a trailing P.
Missing a P.
Here, I'll repeat. You got it?
Why did I do it twice? Okay. There we go.
We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. All right. So cool. So with that being said, I think that is a great place to stop. So yeah, go try this out. Give it a shot. Reach out to Sebastian if you have questions. And stay tuned because we have a lot of fun stuff coming up on the show. Tomorrow, we are bringing back Shirley Wu, who is like one of my all-time favorite people. This will be your third time on the show. We're going to, neither one of us knows how to use Nuxt. So we're going to try to figure it out together. And if you've seen Shirley on the show before, it's completely ridiculous. We just tell a bunch of jokes and make fun of each other. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's 10:30 Pacific tomorrow. And then here in a little bit, we've got Dom, who is a friend of the show, runs React Adelphia. You know, one of my Fortnite buddies. He's going to come in and turn down his Philly potty mouth so that he can be on the show. We've got Gift coming on to teach us how to use Gridsome. We've got Dan Mall coming on to teach us design systems. Zach Gordon is coming on to teach us WordPress. Like, we've got so many amazing things, and we've got more in store. I just booked them. I haven't put them on the schedule yet, so definitely check this out. Like, add the calendar. Did I add this yet to where it actually works? Nah, I didn't. But here is a link. So you can add it. It's jason.af/lwj/cal. Yeah, anyways, super excited. We'll see y'all next time, I think. Stay tuned. We're going to raid. Sebastian, thank you so much for coming on today.
Jason, thank you again. All
All
right.
right.
This is fun.
We'll see you next time, y'all.
Later.